This is Module 9, Question 4. We have this information for our Huntington Power Company, and we want to find the weighted average cost of capital. So, given a tax rate of 21%. So we have some information about this company, both the debt and the common stock, and then also some market information. There's a lot of different ways to sort of set this up. I think what I'm going to do is start by just setting up what we need for the weighted average cost of capital. So let's move this down. All right, so first we need the amount of debt outstanding. Second, we need the amount of equity. Third, we need the percent equity, the percent debt, and last, we need the tax rate. So the weighted average cost of capital will involve all four of these. The amount of debt, we'll start with that. We have, let's do it out here. Number outstanding, 17,000. Their coupon, well, let's do the face value first. That's $2,000. The coupon rate is 0.049. The number of years to maturity is 20, but they're semi-annual, so it's going to be 40. Let's calculate the coupon payments. This is going to be 2,000 times 4.9 divided by 2. So every 6 months we'll get $49. And the current price that it's trading at is 2,000 times 1.05. And we know that because it's trading at 105% of par. Therefore, the amount of debt outstanding is going to be the price times the number outstanding. Oops, number. No, go back. There we go. All right, so the last thing that we need is the, oh, I'm missing a few things, my bad. Cost of debt, cost of equity. That was silly not to include that. The cost of debt is just going to be the implied rate of return on this bond. So the rate is going to be the number of periods, which is 40, the payment, which is 49, the present value, you have to make sure and put a negative here because your payments are in positives, and then you're going to get back a positive 2,000. Now this is the semi-annual rate. We need the effective annual rate. So to do that, we'll do 1 plus this number squared minus 1, because there's 2 compounding periods in the year. This is going to be our cost of debt. Okay, now let's look at the stock. We have number outstanding, 425,000. Price, $67. Beta is 0.88. And then we have some other market information. So the market risk premium is 7%, and the risk-free rate is 3.5, 0.035, and then market risk premium is 0.07. So here we can use CAPM, and if you don't recall CAPM, let me type it out for you. Beta I times the return on the market minus the return on this asset. But another way to write that second part of the equation is just market risk premium. So the CAPM tells us that the return on an individual asset is equal to the risk-free rate plus the beta of that asset times the market risk premium, which is the return on the market. Oops, not minus I, it's minus F. Okay, so all we have to do here is just plug and chug. risk-free rate is, oops, here, plus beta times market risk premium. Put that in percent terms. We need the amount of equity, which is just number of shares times the price. All right, percent equity is equity divided by the sum of debt and equity. And percent debt is going to be debt divided by the sum of these two. And if we were really worried, we want to make sure that that sums to 1 because your debt plus your equity is going to be the total amount of financing that you have. And that's it. The last step, let's make that percent because they're prettier that way. The last step is just to do the WACC calculation. And so if you don't remember it, let's type that in. It's going to be the cost of equity times the percent equity plus the cost of debt times the percent debt times 1 minus the tax rate. Oh, and I have to put that in, nope, I think I have to put it in parentheses. There you go, I mean quotes. All right, last step. Cost of equity is that times the percent equity is that plus, let's do cost of debt times percent debt times 1 minus the tax rate. Let's get rid of a few of those decimal places. I don't think we need to be that precise. And we get the answer 6.29. What this shows us is that we have slightly more debt than we have equity. The cost of debt is slightly lower than the cost of equity, and so our weighted average cost of capital is a little bit weighted towards debt. Therefore, it's essentially lower than it would be otherwise because we get a lower price of debt and we also have a tax advantage because we don't have to pay taxes on interest payments. And that's how you would do this problem. My advice here, if you're like really worried and confused, is to break it out into debt and stock information. Like, so put all the debt stuff in one place, put all the stock stuff in one place, and just try to fill in the pieces. You know, fill in the amount of debt, fill in the amount of equity, and then say, okay, well, what's my rate? Well, that's not really the right rate. What's the annual rate? And just chip away at it like that. Anyway, hope that helps.